friends, this is Grace and welcome to my channel and welcome to the first layout. It's actually going to be video number 2, but first layout for this particular series. I haven't thought about what kind of title I'm going to have this, but I'm just going to do a voiceover just so I can get some edits going. So hopefully I can have a clever title really soon. So I'm going to show you the products that I pulled out. I had basically what I did was I looked at all the papers and I figured that you know how it is like when you would get a kit that there would be matching cardstocks. This was way back when I would buy kits or that I would be a part of a kit design team. So I kind of just used that same formula with putting some pages together where I had grabbed some cardstocks that I thought would be really good to complement the papers and then went with that. I also added some sketches because I love in this season of my life and creating, I love that sketches streamline my crafting process where I don't have to think too much about what I am doing or where I'm putting specific things or the papers that I'm using. The sketches are helping me to skip that process of thinking. Anyways, I had picked the April 2017 Scrapbook Generation sketch, and it's one of my, I don't want to say my favorite, but I have used that one a few times. I believe maybe this one will be my, I don't know, fourth or fifth page that I've created with it. I do remember, like off the top of my head, I have made an 8.5 by 11 page with this, and I even have a video of that. If I remember, I will make sure to link that in the description box below, but it was part of my 8.5 by 11 series. So if you have not seen that and would love to see some 8.5 by 11 inspiration, make sure you check that playlist in my channel. Anyways, so this layout is going to be a double page spread and it's going to be about my daughter's homecoming in 2021. So she was a junior? No, a freshman? I can't remember. No, it would have been freshman year. So she went, no, I take that back. It would have been sophomore year. So she went with a few friends from church and they went to homecoming for their school. And so they were all dressed up and the moms asked me to take some pictures of the teenagers because they all look so fancy with their outfits, and that's what I did. And so I just figured because I was doing that it was kind of a, hitting two birds with one stone, that I was taking pictures for my own documentation, but also helping out to preserve some memories for the other families and other kids. So again, this is of my daughter, and I wanted to document both her going to her first homecoming of high school, but also the dress. So my daughter is very picky with her clothes, and she and I do not have the same style or the things that we like as far as fashion. The things that I think will be good for her, she just kind of rolls her eyes. Uh, on it. And then also we have to make sure that the dress that she's wearing is modest because we do have some standards and we feel like she needs to dress appropriately for her age, but also that she's not showing off too much skin, because that's just, we believe that her beauty will shine better if she wears modest clothes. Anyways, so we ended up buying a prom dress, and then the prom dress had it was showing some of the, we'll show some of her shoulders and whatnot. So what we did was we cut off because if you have ever seen a prom dress, it's very long. That's kind of like how you can distinguish what a homecoming dress is and what a prom dress is. Now, I'm not an expert on this. I just all found this out or learned about this, of course, through my teenager. But anyways, usually they wear shorter dresses with homecoming and then longer dresses for prom. And so we cut off the prom dress so that her dress will be just a little bit above the knee. And then we used the excess fabric and made a cape so that it will cover up her shoulders. So I am not by any means a seamstress. My sister is a seamstress, so I had to do a few video calls with her so that she can help me figure things out. But that's basically what I wanted to document here was the event, who she went with rather, what she did, but also specifically about the dress, because that's something that I want to remember about this specific event. So the sketch called for some photos. It's actually 4x6 photos on the bottom left, but again, because I have been printing my photos 3x4, that I was able to manage to put 6 photos there instead of just 3, and then the rest I had some vertical 3x4 photos, and I did combine three of three of them on the right to make a collage, just to make it bigger and it will match the sketch a little bit better. And then I did mat that with the cardstock that I had taken out from the center of the right paper. Now you're probably wondering why I didn't do that with the left one. It's because I knew that I was going to adhere those photos to the left, bottom left, and I didn't want a lot of holes in on that area, because I don't know how well it's, the photos will stick to the paper, to the background paper. So I kept that hole, but I did cut the right one, and then I used the excess to mat the 3 photos on the right, and it just made it, I just like it because it made it look a lot more polished, and it made it stand out with the papers. Now, the thing that I am loving about this particular collection is that although we have pattern papers, the colors are very subtle, that I know that it's the photos that I pick, especially because I take a lot of like colorful photos, that it will match it, that it's not going to conflict with the different colors. So I love that about this particular collection. Now, I know that this is not a wedding gown, but when am I going to use this wedding gown chipboard, right? So I use that to kind of remind me of the story of the dress. And although it is not a wedding dress, thankfully it is not yet a wedding dress that we're dealing with, but I did put that there. Now, I went ahead and cut out a bunch of words and titles from my silhouette. I use a Paper Issues free cut file. That's where usually I get my cut files because they're free. But I cut a bunch and I cut them in gold and black. Now I'm hoping to use a lot of them in this particular series, but if not, the beauty about cutting the cut files beforehand is that you can use them in whatever layouts that you want. And because I use gold and black, that I know that they're neutral enough that I can use them for a lot of different kinds of layouts. So the title will be Special Moments, and here I have already adhered most of them. I will be matting the journaling just because I feel like it needs to stand out a little bit more, and I use the extra cardstock for that. And then I also added a lot of the die cuts and the chipboard in this layout just because they're fun and they fill the space. And then I'm just going to adhere this all this vertical photos onto the left, and then I'm going to add my titles. That's one thing that I'm trying to be very conscientious about, is stamping or adding my titles when I am creating, so that I don't have to take that extra step when I do put them in the particular scrapbook albums, that I have to do that extra step, because sometimes that takes me, especially if I have a lot of layouts that don't have dates, it takes me a good 1 to 2 hours. So that's what I'm trying to prevent, not to have happen next time. So that is my layout. I will finish it off with a little bit more of these puffy stickers. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like this series and would like to see more, please subscribe, and also hit that bell button so that YouTube will notify you when I post the next video. Again, this is a series that I'm trying to use up this particular Simple Stories paper collection, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.